I'll do like some Marvin Gaye sometimes. My dad gets uncomfortable when I do Marvin Gaye.
Well, how is that?
Because you know the song Let's Get It On? You know, that'll be on my playlist in the shower. And during quarantine, I had it blasting on a speaker. Because I don't know why I have to listen to music when I'm in the shower. It just makes like shampooing a little bit more fun. And I was singing Let's Get It On. Obviously not like that. And my dad
know nothing about shampooing.
Very true. But anyway, so my dad would be like, excuse me, what are you doing? What do you see? I'm like, oh, sorry. I forgot for a moment that my parents were in the house.
This is the Bar Up Show with Rafael Cruz from the studios of Miami Strength Club in North Miami, Florida, bringing you the information, stories, and solutions to increase your strength so you can lead a better life for yourself and the people around you.
Are we starting? I don't know.
Hey, what's up? This is Rafael from Miami Strength Club, and this is the Bar Up Show. I'm here with Natalie.
Hello. Natalie Johnson.
The Johnson. Hey. Welcome.
Sorry. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This has been talked about for a long time.
For a long time. I mean, most of the guests, actually every guest now, since we started the podcast and we've recorded, this is the 10th recording.
Whoop, whoop.
Friends of my, friends and clients, and you know the story. But before we go into that, tell us about you. I mean, who you are, where are you from, who are you as a child?
So I'm from Palm Beach, Florida, 561. Whoop whoop, represent. I've been there pretty much the majority, whole life really. Growing up, I was always very athletic. So I was racing motocross. I was playing soccer, softball, football with the boys. I was the only child growing up. So I was like the son my dad never had, but I was also the daughter kind of for my mom. So I guess I fit like both little stereotypes, I guess. So growing up for me, I had a lot of fun doing a bunch of things. So the issue for me, though, was no matter how athletic I was still super skinny. And growing up for me, that made me really, really insecure because I was always super skinny and I had big boobs. So it was like, where's my ass? It's like, why aren't you growing and filling out? So, so after I graduated high school, I finally took the time to start working out and taking it seriously. And then I started building muscle. Obviously, I'm still not at the goals that I want to be, but I got somewhere. And so I found Miami Strength Club after a few horrendous incidences at different gyms.
What kind of things you enjoyed? I mean, like you were into different sports and whatnot, being many things for your parents. So
yeah, literally.
What do you enjoy most? I mean, like what took your time? What were you passionate about?
Honestly, growing up, I was really passionate about musical theater, but at the same time, I still loved having, soccer practice after school, after rehearsal, let out all that stress, things like that, just letting out everyday energy. Even though I was on stage, always rehearsing my lines and things like that. For me, I needed to at least break a sweat as a kid. Because, when I have a lot of energy already. So, but when I was a kid, I was like the Energizer Bunny, like how I am when I have a cup of coffee when I work out. It was like me times 10 as a kid. So I definitely needed to let all that energy out.
If you're looking at yourself back, kind of like let's just say like a flash, one of those movie-like flashes, and you're sitting here right now with me, and we are looking at you on stage.
Yeah.
What would you tell you back then? Like how old are you? What show are you doing? What would you tell yourself?
I'm thinking more of like my 15, 16-year-old self from like sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
I was an ensemble in a musical. I forgot the name of the musical, but I was an ensemble. I was just like a background person. I would definitely tell myself to stop caring about, what other people think, and stop caring about your insecurities and just live life and just enjoy it. Just put yourself out there and just have fun instead of putting pressure on yourself. Because I put a lot of pressure on myself as a kid. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself too up until I graduated college. So that would be my advice to myself, is just let loose and have fun, enjoy your teenage years.
Yeah, that's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to enjoy that. You're only a teenager once, and I feel like a lot of parents or peer pressures of social media really affect teenagers. Like, for example, when I was in high school, Jen Selter, do you know that Instagram fitness?
No, I mean maybe you show me a picture or something. Maybe I know what it is, but or who is a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
Okay.
Her name is Jen Selter.
Okay.
And she was like a very skinny girl, but she had that big butt. And I was like, oh, I wish I looked like that. Like, so I was like, ooh, I want to look like that. What do I need to do? You know what I mean? So I think because of social media too, I was just always putting pressure on myself to like try to look a certain way or do certain things when I should have just enjoyed being a kid and just finding myself and just doing what I loved and just have fun.
So in which ways? I mean, other than maybe because I hear you say something about appearance, maybe something about how was that a pressure point for you? I mean, in which ways did you pressure yourself? Let's put it that way. What were you doing? What were you not doing? Who were you hanging around with?
I would say like right after high school, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of stressing about this and being insecure about this. I want to be confident. I'm way too young to be thinking like this. So
Yeah.
I feel like when I started my fitness journey after high school, I wasn't doing it because I genuinely loved weightlifting. I was doing it because I was trying to reach a goal.
Oh.
But as I continued to work out, I really found a love for it because, again, like I was used to going to soccer practice and softball tournaments and racing motocross and doing athletic things that I enjoyed. So I found the joy and the passion in weightlifting, and like that was it for me. It's like I just fell in love with it pretty much.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so. Look, I tell you what. That reminds me of me in a certain way. This is going to sound really stupid. I've never told this story on a show.
Dun dun dun.
Or maybe I'm lying. Maybe I told it the last 4 times. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, this is going to sound really stupid. I started working out, training, not training, working out and kind of like doing push-ups and blah, blah. Very, very early. I mean, like I was less than 13 years old, younger than 10.
Yeah.
And then at 13, I already started, doing my thing, getting my dumbbells and blah,
Right.
blah. Don't hate. I can already read the comments here. You know that thing, Dragon Ball Z?
Yes. I loved that show as a kid.
Okay, so hold it.
Okay.
The characters, they used to have this wrist something here.
Like a bracelet kind
Like a
of.
bracelet kind of thing.
Okay.
And on top of the bracelet, their forearms looked huge. These were like the most manly forearms you could see.
Veins.
Yeah, with the veins and all of that. And it was like, and I'm like, fuck, I want my arms like that. And it was, it was all about, it was at the very beginning, it was all about the forearms. You see me with a dumbbell, like, curling my wrist that way. But so, like, and that was an undue pressure.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell cared?
Yeah, true. And you know what's so funny now that you're mentioning like anime and like cartoons? Growing up watching the Disney princesses and like that Looney Tunes show with Lola Bunny, she has the bust, the tiny, tiny waist, and then, you know what I mean? It's like that perfect hourglass figure.
A bunny butt.
Right. Yeah, a bunny. Yeah, like a bunny butt. And then also, too, Princess Jasmine, as well in Aladdin. Like, she had that figure. So for me, growing up, I was like, I need to look like that.
Disney, what did you do?
Yeah, Disney, Looney Tunes, what's up, man? Like, why? But that's how I felt. I was like, okay, so I have the top half, but I'm missing the bottom half. I'm like, how do I get the bottom half? Like, I never really knew. But yeah, so I understand that 100%. And I used to watch Dragon Ball Z too. They were like ripped guys. Like even that little alien guy with the brain. No, wait. Oh my God, that's Mojo Jojo. No. Do you remember Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls?
Mojo Jojo.
Okay, if you look it up after the show, I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. But you know who I'm talking about, the alien looking guy. I just don't know if his brain's exposed or not.
Okay, everybody just put this video on pause. Put this podcast on pause. And do me a favor,
go find out what Mojo Jojo is because
Mojo Jojo. I think that was his name. It's like a little monkey man. And then he has this little brain exposed. But I get that guy and then the green guy from Dragon Ball Z confused sometimes. I have no idea why, but I do.
yeah.
I think they have the same head concept. I can't remember. I really can't.
What was the name of the green guy?
I don't remember.
Look, again, more instructions for you. If you just came back from finding who Mojo Jojo is, please go back and tell me who the name of the green guy with the white hat is.
What is his name? They need to drop it in the comments.
I don't know, but he also had like a huge shoulder
Yeah.
thingy
Yeah, brick house.
with what do you call that? A cape.
Yeah, he did have a cape.
He had a white cape.
Did he have like little boots? Did he have boots? I don't remember. Like the white boots?
Something, yeah. And he had long nails, kind of like yours.
Rawr.
Whoa. Are we onto something here?
Oh, God, no. Am I taking after him? I don't know.
Maybe, hey, you got to do what you got to do to be fabulous,
Yeah, you do. And you know what? It's so funny because I usually don't get nails long like this because, when I work out here, my nails break all the time.
I've seen that.
But since it was like graduation for me, I was like, okay, I got to do something like nicer.
Okay.
But I can't wait to get my short nails back. My little tiny little short nails. So I don't have to worry about breaking them every 5 seconds.
Are you into pets? And dogs, pets, cats, parakeets, snakes?
So I have a pit bull named Stella.
Oh.
And my dad got me her for Valentine's Day a couple years back.
Yeah.
But when I moved to Miami for school, I couldn't keep her with me in my dorm. So I left her at my parents', unfortunately. But of course, I was visiting like every other weekend, as you knew. So it was still nice seeing her and things like that. But as of right now, I'm trying to get her registered as an emotional support animal so I can have her with me in Miami now that I have my own apartment. But, pit bulls are like banned in Miami. Like they're not allowed, but it seems like everybody has one here.
What's behind that? You have an idea?
So do you remember the football player Michael Vick?
Yes.
So he was doing the dog fighting at some certain point or time with pit bulls.
He became infamous.
Yeah, I believe he got in trouble for that too. And I guess they were doing a lot of pit bull fighting here in Miami. And that's why they're not allowed. So that's why they're considered like aggressive dogs when really they're the sweetest dogs ever. Like my Stella will probably lick your leg this entire podcast and just hang out. So it all depends, I feel like, how you raise a dog in general. Like, because German Shepherds, I'm sure, are the same exact way. If you don't train them to be aggressive and mean or whatever, then they're going to be good to you.
Yeah, nurture, like you.
Right.
They're loving animals, Look, I don't know much about animals.
Are you a dog person? I mean, you have 2 kids and...
I wouldn't call myself a dog or a pet person. I do enjoy sharing time. I don't think I'm qualified to take care of, pets. And you know what, actually, I'm going to put myself out here. I'm going to put myself out here.
Yeah.
There's something philosophical about what people call unconditional love. And I don't know. I know that's a thing, but I'm not into unconditional love. Like, what are you loving me for? What are you licking my leg for? Yeah.
Like, what do you want from me?
I'll feed you. I'll shelter you, and but I don't know. It's just something weird. I mean, hey, psychologist out there.
Yeah, tune in, please. No, but my pit bull, she'll bring you the water bowl if she needs water. So she'll, like, if I have her in the house, she'll pick up her water bowl and bring it to me or like my mom.
Yeah.
To fill it up so she can have something to drink. She's a really, really smart dog.
That's sweet.
And it's not like I ever trained her to do that. It's just randomly, she just did it.
Yeah, you know what? It's cool. It's cool because pets, I don't relate all the way. But my son has a chihuahua.
A chihuahua.
A chihuahua.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Exactly. That's the guy. That's the guy.
Yes. I love that.
And, I see them playing one night. It's a very cute dog, rather tiny.
They're kind of mean. Like one bit me in the nose one time when I was like 11, and I
think Chihuahuas are like Dominicans. You know, they're misunderstood. They're really misunderstood. I am Dominican, so that qualifies me. It qualifies me down the line. If you want to find out who I am, just Google Bonao, Bonao, Bonao. That's you're gonna find is a town in Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. I was running on the streets.
Yep.
In just underwear at 5 years old. If you're Dominican, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So Chihuahuas are like a little bit, you know, like misunderstood, like many Dominicans, you know, like we like plantains and all that shit.
How do you think Dominicans are misunderstood, in your opinion, besides plantains?
Because that's not all we like.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Like we like salami.
I love salami.
You know.
Salami is so good.
Mm. And a little bit of rice. And you know what? Big segue. If the aliens were here, and maybe they are.
Maybe
they are.
Maybe we're the aliens.
Like,
because apparently Elon Musk and all of those billionaires, millionaires that are famous are trying to build homes on Mars and trying to live there because they know something that we don't. So, like, if we're going to live in Mars, is there any life forms on Mars that we're going to have to, like, integrate with? You know what I mean? Like, wait, there's no way that we're the only life forms.
Look, you
know what I mean?
I was flipping my Google feed the other day.
Yeah.
Because that's what, you wake up, what do you do? Mm-hmm. You check to see if it's still Wednesday, first of all.
Hump day.
Like, oh my God, what day is it? Am I here yet? You know, kind of thing. And then you kind of like watch the the news a little bit. You read for the weather.
Right.
And I read this thing, and I might have dreamed it. I don't know. But if you're interested, just Google it or something like that. Mm-hmm. There is this kind of bacteria or organism that thrives inside concrete.
No way.
So if you have a house, inside your walls, inside the the columns of your house, rebarb and concrete, there's life there.
That's insane.
That's insane. So if there's life in concrete,
there has to be life on Mars.
Chances are there's life, in many places you don't suspect because, I mean, like, it wouldn't be bizarre. And maybe, you know what? Maybe some people know that. And I know this is cuckoo. These are headphones, not tinfoil. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, if I am going to Mars, I'm really going to do weight training before I get there. Lots of weight training.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would be scared to go in like a rocket ship and just leave. I don't know. I'm afraid of heights, so that would be scary to like look out of the little window of a rocket ship and just be like, "Oh my gosh, there's my planet."
You'd be pretty high. That's a long
That's
fall.
scary. Yeah. You'd float, I think. Let's say you get out of the rocket ship. Mm-hmm. There's no gravity. So you would just kind of float around until who knows?
I don't know.
That's scary to me. That's a scary concept.
It is pretty. Well, I mean, mind you, there's no life support out there, but I'd be really scared to go somewhere where nobody else has gone before.
Yeah. I'd be terrified too.
Although I'd be the first one.
You're like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, you know what? Let me tell my version of. Actually, you go ahead. Tell your version of the story, how we met, and what happened since then.
Okay, so I was at FIU. I already completed my first semester ever. It was like my junior year. And I was going to the university gym, and I had an experience with an older gentleman who was hitting on me. And then he ended up being a professor. So I was like, I'm a student. So this is a little awkward. He was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. So I was like, okay, this is not going to work for me. I went to the LA Fitness down the street, you know, and guys were just not making me feel comfortable. And, you know, I'm just a girl trying to just work out and do my thing and by myself. So it was very intimidating to be around a lot of guys and, you know, them trying to talk to you or whatever. So when I was looking for a gym, I was like, okay, I need to find something that's private, that's professional, and that I can feel safe. So when I was scrolling through, I think it's like Apple Maps, you just type in gyms near me. And this one popped up for me. And so I saw that the reviews were good. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to call and I'm just going to see. And then I called, I think that same day, and you answered the phone.
I think I was very rude to you.
You were kind of sassy. You were like, but like I could tell that I called at the wrong time and I felt bad because I had no idea. I was just like, hi, I'd like to join your gym, blah, blah, blah. Like I was asking you questions and then you just told me to come. I think it was either that night or the next day. I can't remember.
Something of the sort.
Something of the sort. And then once you and I met in the gym, whenever it was that day or the next day, that's where it just kind of all happened. And then next thing I knew, you know, everything went really well. That first workout, you were teaching me a lot because obviously like my form was all like messed up and whatnot because it's been a while since I worked out and I kind of taught myself anyways. So I do remember though telling you, I was like, listen, like these are my past experiences because I told you all of them.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And I was like, so I really want to make sure that I'm around people who are just as focused as I am on their fitness goals, just here to work out, have a conversation or two, enjoy ourselves, and then leave and make sure that it's professional. And here I am 2 years later, 2.5 years later, almost 3 years.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that was my point of view on how we met. But what was your point of view on how we met? Because that's all I remember.
No,
pretty much.
That was pretty much it. I answered the phone. You know, you covered everything else, but I did answer the phone in my typical question. I switched like I'm a machine. I was like, hello, how can I help you? And that's I answer the phone for everybody.
Yeah.
Even mostly, sometimes people I know.
Right.
It's still like, hey, hello, how can I help?
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah.
Dime.
Yeah, like.
Get to the point.
Dude, because you don't know, like having to
know.
answer the phone all day long, you know, desensitizes you to, you know, people that call for the wrong purposes. You know, you don't want to talk to this. You don't want to talk to these people. You know,
Yeah,
they
you
want
don't
to
wanna
talk to
talk to-
you, but so, you know, you have a. I mean, respectfully, you kind of have a sweet voice. So I'm thinking she's gonna sell me something. She wants something from me.
That's so great. It's so funny.
You know, and but no, I heard you loud and clear. You know, your concerns. I think when you told me that,
Yeah.
it was like a light bulb went up for me, you know, because you know the studio, you know, this is being a small gym studio, you know,
Yeah.
experience. I'm like, oh my God, I hadn't thought of that, but that's exactly what we have here.
Right.
You know, and then you told me that, I was like, I got the solution for you.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I'm the solution.
yeah, you know, like here.
I'm
you
the
know,
missing puzzle piece.
yeah, and it was, you know what, guys, you're not gonna believe that. And when you got here, I don't think if I had that yet, but it was really inspired by your experience. It was
so
really
sweet.
inspired by your experience, and
Yeah.
here it is. You know the ruler.
Yes, I remember the ruler.
Tell people about the ruler.
Oh my God, the ruler. That ruler. Oh my God. That was the funniest thing. It was like a king with, what's that little stick called?
A staff
Is it called a staff?
or something. You know, like your batoon or something. You know,
A
your king stick. Your king stick.
Yeah, it was like your king stick, that ruler. If you had something written down on the whiteboard, wham,
Yeah.
there it is. And you would tap it. Or if I was doing, I think I was doing hip thrusts for the first time.
Probably, yeah.
And you would say, when you feel this stick on your mid back, that's when you know to go up.
Right.
Right? So you would do that.
Right.
You know, that stick helped me through everything. That it was like you and that stick trained me.
Yeah. But you know what? The thing is that that's the kind of thing that, as weird as it may be, and this is not for everybody, of course, but you come finding results in a way that are not going to make you feel uncomfortable the way
Right.
you were feeling some other places.
Right.
So guess what? Maybe a little bit of personal distance. It's still personal training.
No, right.
But guys, listen, personal training has personal distance.
Right.
And it's built in.
Yeah.
And I know that's a lesson I learned a long time ago, because when you work in commercial gyms, you are personal training your clients.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something about husbands.
They're ready to judo chop you in a second.
They're not going to. I mean, and this is not the situation for everybody. So
Right.
I mean, everybody has their own finances, men and women, male and female,
Right.
and anything between. If you
Right.
pay for your stuff, I'm not trying to insinuate something, but when a husband is going to pay for his wife's trainer,
Yeah.
guess what?
Big-
It needs to look a certain way, and that's professional. So I learned that lesson, well, not a lesson, because I didn't have to learn a lesson,
Right.
but I did better in business by being more professional.
Right.
And that's how you do better in business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing with you and I, though, is that since I feel like our personalities are very similar, we kept it professional, but we still had fun.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And I definitely built a lot of relationships with each member of the club here.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it has been like 2.5 years. I've seen so many people come and go. So sometimes I don't remember everybody's name, but for the most part, it's the consistent same family that I started here with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That helped me grow.
You got the same Pokemons. The same Pokemons from the beginning. There's many Pokemons going in and out of your collection.
But that Pikachu's still there.
Yeah.
That Squirtle's still there. That Piplup is still there. I hope I'm Piplup, but
Baby, go. Oh my
right?
God.
But yeah.
This is fun. Yeah, this is the fun that was there to be had.
Right, exactly.
We've shared this lightheartedness, from the beginning, and
Right.
and training. I remember when the kind of like fast forwarding a little bit, when the quarantine hit.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was a time. That was definitely a time. It
Oh
was
my
an
gosh.
experience.
Yeah, the Zoom online trainings that you had those
Yeah.
first couple of weeks.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's crazy.
You saw my whole living room. You met my mom. Hello, Rafa. In the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was so crazy, those first couple of weeks.
That was that was one of the first times
Yeah.
when I felt like I'm going to have to change my career and be an online personal trainer.
Yeah.
I thought about that. That was crazy, and I don't know. I didn't do so good.
I mean, you did. For as far as I'm aware, you did. You definitely did well with me, and honestly, for you to do individual online sessions, you have to keep up with what each client has available to
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and obviously, not every client's gonna have everything. So, I mean, I just know me personally, I would have a hard time trying to keep up with, okay, do you have these dumbbells? Do you have this? Do you
Right.
have that? So I definitely give you props because you definitely did well. I mean, for me anyway.
It was challenging. But it was really rewarding. Like
Of course.
watching you do burpees with tuna cans and stuff. that never happened. That never happened.
I was awful with burpees. I was so bad. I was like, do I have to? You're like, yes, let's go. I'm like, okay.
Remember that time where you started like, oh, no, I'm going to do bicep curls with 20 pounds. That lasted 2 reps.
I can't do it. I was working out with the girls today.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what? Like, I can do a chest press with 20-pound dumbbells. I couldn't even get it up.
Oh,
I
boy.
couldn't even get it up. But I can do a 45-pound bar, no problem. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So it was crazy. It was like a reality check. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go down to 10 pounds now.
What would you say? And I think this is a really more than interesting. It's an informative question.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what the answer is, but it is still an informative question. What do you think it's in your experience the difference on how it goes when you start, when you train, when you do exercises with barbells versus dumbbells?
With dumbbells, I feel like it's more difficult.
Yeah.
With the bar, it's a bit easier because it's just you're boom. Like you just lift it, that's it. But with a dumbbell, it's like your each individual arm, hands, biceps, triceps are working just to lift up that one weight. And I have no idea why. I don't know why. Someone who knows and studies anatomy, please explain this to me. But for some reason, for me personally, dumbbells gives me more of a challenge than a bar. 100%.
Yeah. That's a as good answer as any other answer anyway.
I don't know how to describe it, but I did the best I could for sure.
Because, yeah, look, a little bit on the technical side, and this is again, a little bit of informative, bringing here
Right.
an explanation per se. When you are doing a barbell exercise, that's called something called bilateral. You have two sides to that. In which case, the person doing the lift links its body and everything that it's doing to the bar.
Right.
In two ways. And there's a lot more muscle mass being used at the same time.
Yeah.
And let's say if you have equivalent, the same poundage, let's just say you have 80 pounds loaded on the bar and you have two 40-pound dumbbells, which is still 80.
Right.
The way you push it with the bar just makes it different enough because you're using more muscle and all together at the same time to lift the same. There is going to be comments here.
Yeah.
One or two.
3 or 4.
There's going to be comments, here and there. If you have a different opinion about that, if you have your own explanation about that, just leave it in the comments. I love to go back and read them and probably pick up some knowledge.
Yeah.
And some know-how to and whatnot.
Right.
But I that's as good a question as any. Other people answer differently.
Yeah.
By the way.
Really?
So yeah, somewhere in between, they would answer somewhere in between, or like, oh, it's the same to me, or I find that barbells are more difficult.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's a kind of thing. So if you're there thinking, well, for me, it doesn't matter, whatever. Yeah, that's also fine. It's not a matter of agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, and this is my professional assessment of you, you did really well with barbells.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you continue to do very well with barbells.
Yeah.
You might not know this, although I highly suspect it, that people look up to you for the progress that you've done in the gym.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Correctamundo.
I'm not going to lie. I'm very surprised by that.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I just feel like I just come in, I do my workout, I laugh with you, I laugh with the girls, I just talk with everybody, and then I just go home. I don't really see myself as like a role model.
But hold it. There's nothing else to do here anyways.
I mean, you can have coffee, a LaCroix, maybe a little banana.
Yeah.
A podcast.
A podcast.
But I mean, that's just
the
how I just
Bar Op Show.
Right. But I just see myself, I don't know, I never really saw myself as someone that people in the gym looked up to. So that's very flattering, honestly.
Okay, but look, you just moved into a new apartment.
Yeah.
Is there anything you've noticed around, or any let's say anyone you've noticed, let's just say, I don't know, somebody in the staff of the building and the administration, some of your neighbors, if you go to the store for groceries, somebody that you've kind of like noticed more than once, like people notice people. Yeah. People notice people.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're consistent. You go in and out.
I try to be.
You mind your business.
Yeah.
No, hey, it's been 2.5 years. You're consistent.
Yeah. I mean, but there has been a lot of phases where I'll be very consistent for like 3-4 months. And then all of a sudden I'll be like burnt out. And I think, and it's not because I'm burnt out at the gym. I just feel like with me being a full-time college student, on top of being a full-time employee and other personal things, it just racked up on me. But now that I have graduated and I'm moving on and I'm moving forward in this new chapter, I'll be able to be consistent for however long I can go, you know, and but for the most part, I have been consistent. But there has been phases here and there where you'll be like, where the hell are you?
No, but you know, that's the nature of many things anyways.
Yeah.
I tell you what, briefly, briefly, I had a few A's and B's.
Yeah.
And then I went back to D's and C's. You know?
Yeah. You know, I asked for a lot of extensions, so that's for sure.
You kind of like, it's if you kind of like equate performance and the grading of your performance, you know, there's going to be fluctuations in there, but you know, in average, I was a D. So,
maybe I'm an average like C, maybe a B minus.
B minus, B plus. B
yeah,
plus.
Just a B. What about a B instead of like B plus, B minus? A B's like in the middle.
You're an A. Well, hey, if you're listening, just set your comments there. What do you think?
What grade do I get?
How do you think Natalie's doing here? You just met her, so don't worry about it.
Too funny. But yeah, I'm just very surprised that people do recognize like my progress. I mean, like Adriana, for example, I know definitely she would notice because I mean, I've known her ever since I started my fitness journey here.
Yeah.
Obviously you, Jen, Nina, maybe.
No, actually, no.
I mean, it's been like less than a year, maybe almost a year, for as long as I've known her, I think.
She came into the gym when that class that Jen
on Saturdays,
buns and legs.
Yeah, that was a good class.
Yeah, so that was sometime in the fall, maybe the fall of 2020.
Yeah, so we're coming up on the fall too.
Yeah, so it's about a year, maybe a little bit less than a year.
Yeah, she's made great progress though.
Yeah.
From the moment that I met her to now, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like definitely people should be looking up to her too.
Yeah, I agree. Well, she's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's consistent. You know, like because that's the key word, consistent.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
And I'm not gonna finger wag, but
what?
Finger wagging, like consistency, grandma, grandpa, kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Lecturing you or whatever. But it does take consistency.
It does.
That's the nature of it. You can't work around inconsistencies because
you can't.
That's how it is. You couldn't believe how much coffee I used to drink.
You used to drink a lot of coffee. When I first started here, I think I saw you with a cup every day.
Oh, forget about every day. I was having a cup of coffee every 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was having a cup of coffee
in the morning, afternoon. But the thing is that you're here at 6 in the morning?
Yeah. Maybe
30 minutes before. Because you have clients come in that early.
Right.
And then you leave here at 9:30
p.m.
When you have when you have a 7:30 class, you're here for a while.
Yeah.
So you got to have that spunk, so I get it.
Yeah, it has helped me tremendously. I stopped drinking so much coffee though. I stopped drinking so much coffee. And look, if you're drinking so much coffee, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about your feelings.
I don't care. I do not care.
No, I do care. I'm unaware of your feelings, so just
comment your feelings below.
Comment your feelings below.
Let us know how you feel.
But when the pandemic, and all of this uncertainty hit, and you're looking at your friends and your family like, oh my God, you're gonna make me sick. Or I'm going to make you sick. There's a lot of anxiety there.
It's actually kind of funny.
And yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. When I think I had COVID in April, right? And I couldn't come in the gym. I remember telling my dad, I was like, listen, Dad, I have COVID. And he freaked out on me. He's like, if you didn't party and go to the gym every day, you wouldn't have COVID. The next day, he tested positive for COVID. And I was like, oh. if you weren't partying and going out all the time and working, you wouldn't have.
That's sad and hilarious.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah, it's bitter. Yes.
Bitter for him, sweet for me.
How dare you? No, but
No, but it was funny.
You know, this is a very sensitive topic for me because I like you.
Yeah.
You know, you experience what that's like, and you know, many people that I know, and and a lot of people, you know, millions of people probably by now, you know, it's been a painful experience.
Yeah.
But also an eye-opening experience because
Yeah.
kind of like what you said, like, hey, listen, I haven't been outside. I went outside to water the plants, you know.
Yeah.
And gotcha, bitch.
Yep.
You know, kind of thing.
Comes out of nowhere. Phew.
Yeah. So, look, do what you think is right for yourself.
Right. Take care of yourself.
Right.
I remember too during the pandemic. I think it was more towards the end of the quarantine era.
The quarantine era.
I should say time period. I think it was towards the end or right when the gym opened again.
Yeah.
We filmed a couple of clips
Right.
with the masks on. You know, letting
I remember.
members know that we are wearing our masks because we were for quite a while.
Yeah, it was mandated. I mean,
Yeah.
it was not really like so much of a whimsical wish or something
Right.
like that. You know, it was mandated, and you know, we were broadcasting that we were being compliant.
Yeah, exactly. And also, too, you have members here who are older that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, right?
Yep.
That work out here. So, you know, we definitely wanted those older members to feel safe when they were to come in for a workout because it was scary. Like my dad is 58 and he had a stroke a couple years ago. He has Crohn's disease. He has a lot of health issues. So for him during the pandemic, it was really scary. And he was always like, Natalie, listen, like, you know, I know you're going to work still. I know you're still doing your thing, but you have to be careful.
You were very careful, though. You were very.
I really tried to be.
Yeah.
I really did because I could not live with myself if I really brought that home to my family, you know? But a lot of people, like you said earlier, were affected by the pandemic quite dramatically, you know? Like people lost loved ones because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then people were having the nerve to be like, oh, COVID's fake. I'm like, come on.
No, I mean, like,
don't say that.
I think those statements have been.
Well, at that time.
I'm gonna say for the most part by now
Yeah.
have been, you know, completely dismantled. You know,
100%.
It is. There's no one, you know, with 5 fingers forward by now that should be saying that.
Yeah.
However, the one thing that still plagues some people is ambivalence or you know, what do you call that? The other thing when people don't care, kind of thing. You know, they're not really empathetic.
Yeah.
So, you know, carelessness, sometimes just pure stupidity. I know stupidity when I see it because sometimes I'm stupid myself.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. So
we do stupid things sometimes. You know, we can't all be perfect.
Right. So, but you know, and among all of that stupidity and, you know, carelessness and all of that, blah, 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 I'm drinking so much coffee. And my anxiety levels.
Oh, that's what we're talking about, coffee. I got way off topic for a second.
You know, anxiety levels and coffee, when they both are going, you know, rampant like that.
Yeah.
No, you don't sustain that. So, you know, it started affecting me like it had never before, and I cut back a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've done so well these last 2 days.
The past 48 hours, I've been doing very well.
No, it's been since the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I've been, you know, trimming down on the amount of I pour.
Yeah.
And I have it to 1 or 2 cups a day.
That's
which
good.
Is, yeah. Mostly one.
Yeah.
Mostly one, which is good.
The girls really like your coffee, though, for sure.
listen, this is the best coffee in Miami, and I'm not really a bragger one. You know, I don't like to brag.
Right.
But I dare you say that this is the best coffee in Miami.
It's so good.
I only do fresh, super fresh coffee. This is not gourmet. For the most part, I do not do gourmet brews because it's fucking expensive.
It is
You know, it's
expensive.
like $30, half a pound or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, and
What?
it's gourmet coffee is very, but then
Damn.
then you're getting the best of the best,
Right.
and I like the best of the best,
Don't we all?
but I'll just keep it to myself. just
This
kidding.
is for me. This is for you.
Yeah, no, but that's every time I get myself, or we get some gifts. Claudio, my friend, he's a coffee expert,
Connoisseur.
more than a connoisseur. He's an expert.
He put you on the
Right.
best coffee. I remember that.
You remember those coffees?
When I first met him, he was like, first of all, Rafa, you got to get rid of this.
Right.
You got to
that?
get this. And you were like, ooh, where do I get it?
Right.
Oh, really? Like he really gave you some good advice.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to Coffee Claudio.
More coffee, Claudio. I love you, bro. I miss you. We miss you here.
Wishing you well.
And Claudio, not only did he gave me good advice, he also gave me good coffee.
He also gave you good music.
He brought and good music. Oh, you remember that?
You went through like a EDM phase. do 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 do. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, some what is that called? That genre? Techno, industrial techno, or techno industrial, or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was something of that sort. But when I would row, I would think of him for like a good 4 months, because you would have that do 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 music going.
That was good. So you know what? Good coffee. We do have good coffee. For example, just kind of like really good coffee. Sometimes it's Ethiopian coffee. Sometimes it's Beats coffee. More day to day, but high quality. I do get the Supremo Colombian coffee.
Yeah.
Which is just fresh. You grind that just when the water is boiling.
Yeah.
Zzz, all that just perfect grind right there in a hand grinder, and the aromas just burst out of the thing, and you open the grinder, and it just hits you on the nose.
Hits you like a truck.
And you kind of wake up. You know that thing, wake up and smell the coffee?
Yep.
That happens here every day. Like,
love that.
wow. And you pour that water in the French press. Mm-hmm. And you wait a couple of minutes, and the whole aroma of the whole thing, and it just goes into it. And some people that are here every day drinking the coffee, they can tell it's like, oh, that's a new kind of coffee.
Yeah.
Or this one is going to be bold or more mellow, kind of like that. When it presses, some of it sometimes is way more darker.
Right.
Sometimes depending on the roast.
So basically, members here not only get a lot of fitness advice, growth, a good workout in, but they also can differentiate between coffee smells and coffee grounds.
over time,
Yeah.
over time, you get exposed to different things that we like here, and we're talking about things that we like, and some of us like that in common. Some of us, we also talk about movies. We talk about movies. What's your favorite movie?
Honestly, I don't have a favorite movie, but my favorite movie at the moment is Luca.
What is Luca?
It's the new movie on Disney Plus. It's that like little cartoon, because I have family friends who have kids, and it's all over TikTok too. And the kids are always like, I want to be Luca for Halloween. I'm like, what is Luca? I'm like, what is this? I bought a Disney Plus membership. And I watched the movie, and it's just about this boy who lives in the ocean, in the waters of Italy, and he's a sea monster. But he doesn't know that when he comes out of the ocean onto the land, he turns into a human boy.
I think I've heard about this guy.
So I feel like Kai and Lola would like it a lot because it's very colorful. There's not that much singing, though. That's the thing. Sometimes I don't really like all the singing.
musicals, right?
I mean, I did musical theater for a majority of my life. And when I watch movies, sometimes I'm like, can we skip through the song, please? And, like the fact that I want to do that says a lot. So, there's not as much singing as I, intended it to be. So, which is good. But it's such a cute kids movie.
Yeah.
I love it. I guess I'm still a kid at heart at 23.
So listen, you still sing? Are you still like into it, or?
I sing in the shower.
Okay.
So I'll have Whitney Houston tributes.
Oh.
I'll do like some Marvin Gaye sometimes. My dad gets uncomfortable when I do Marvin Gaye.
Well, how is that?
Because the song Let's Get It On. That'll be on my playlist in the shower. And during quarantine, I had it blasting on a speaker. Because I don't know why I have to listen to music when I'm in the shower. It just makes like shampooing a little bit more fun. And I was singing Let's Get It On. Obviously not like that. And my dad
know nothing about shampooing.
Very true. But anyway, so my dad would be like, excuse me, what are you doing? What do you sing? I'm like, oh, sorry. I forgot for a moment that my parents were in the house, so that was a little awkward. But depending on my mood, I just have tributes with specific artists, usually kind of old school for sure.
You know what song I remember listening in the background when I was, and listen, I do something kind of like shower. It's not a shower, because if you just kind of like, if I soap myself before I get wet.
Yeah.
And then walk under the shower for 2 seconds and rinse, While I listen to what is it, Happy from Pharrell.
Because I'm happy, never alone. If you feel,
you shower to that, you're done in 2 minutes.
The perks of being a man. It's so funny because if you ever see my shower, I have about 12 products in there.
Let's just be clear about something.
You will never gonna see it.
I'm never going to see your shower.
Well, for my audience, No, I'm just kidding. But I have about that's the thing about being a woman. It's like, for me personally, I guess I'm a little bit more high maintenance than others, but I have the shampoo, the conditioner, and the hair mask from the salon. Then I have the exfoliator, the bar of soap, the body wash, the exfoliator for hair growth because I get waxed. And then, you got to get all these different, I got so many different things going on in there, and it just takes me forever. And I always hate it because it takes a long time. So I feel like when I do have that playlist of good music going,
that's cool.
It makes me enjoy it. Or Miami has the worst traffic ever in the state of Florida.
It's not getting better.
No, it's not getting better at all. But having a good playlist helps me, because at first I used to go crazy. I used to hate the traffic, and I was like, oh my God, I miss Palm Beach. I'm somewhere in 10-15 minutes. So I learned to love the traffic and love the journey to places and not rush.
Yeah. It helps a lot. It helps a lot, enjoying that bit of nuance, if you will. If you find value in the nuances, you get to appreciate certain perspective of the thing, because you have to stop and consider. You have to stop and consider.
Right.
In a certain in a mental exercise.
Yeah.
To stop and consider. Let's stop and consider this right now. When you started squatting,
that was bad.
What was that like? Why
it was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable because I didn't have the proper form. So when I squatted here for the first time, I knew I was doing something wrong.
Look, but
I was like, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. But of course, you were there to guide me. I know Jen gave me a few pointers too.
Yeah.
The positioning of the hands. I should always lean forward when squatting.
Yeah.
Keep my shoulders back. Try to look at the cone. You had the cone for me on the floor for about a year.
Yes, it's about a year.
About a year I had that cone. Even when you weren't paying attention, I would put the cone in front of me just in case.
I remember, having that. But you did very well. And stopping and paying attention to the nuances. Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How you grab the barbell, where you place it on your back.
Right.
What are you doing with your with your torso,
right,
as you start going down, and then as you start coming up, Where are
Yeah.
you looking at? These kind of nuances are, so it escapes some people's imaginations for the most part. But once you learn them, you cannot unlearn them.
You remember forever.
Yeah, you can't. You remember forever. It informs the way you move in other places too, whether you realize it or not. And with that said, I'm thinking of the problem. A lot of people. And actually, let me tell you about a lot of people. A lot of people is my mom. A lot of people is my mom has problems.
Oh my God.
My mom has problems. Not the ones you think she has, but the ones I'm going to tell you about it. I'm trying to teach my mom how to squat.
Oh, she wants to work out now.
Yeah, she wants to work out.
That's so cute.
So he's like, but I don't have a gym. And I tell her, but you can squat. And but my knee, she fell down the stairs some about a decade ago, and she was off and had knee surgery and this and that. It's like I don't think I can get in shape, and there's these. I wouldn't call them excuses because she's actually she's trying and actually started.
That's good.
But there are this resistance, the resistance of not knowing how to. And we all go through that,
We do.
Of course, I don't want to break my back. You're not going to break your back. But, that's what you think.
Right.
That's what you think. That's
right.
what so I'm teaching my mom how to squat, and she just doesn't know how. And Mom, you have to lean forward. Mom, just pretend you're leaning forward to sit, to sit down.
Right.
So after many trials, what I do is I take her to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I have her hold her hands in the inside of the sink.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And put a chair behind her. So now she has to lean forward.
Right.
As she brings her hips down.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But those are nuances, and that's what I want people to stop and think about.
Right.
When you're trying to do something, and I'm talking about, starting to get strong and doing exercises and whatnot, which is a topic that we all have to consider for ourselves or the people around us. But when you're talking about starting something,
yeah,
like moving, you just moved.
Yeah, that was a pain in the ass. That was a pain in the ass process.
Why do you move it? What is it? Where is it that you are now?
I'm in downtown Miami now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to go back to squatting, but how many things did you have to do information wise, research wise, to find out how you start moving? The first steps.
So I'm the type of person where I kind of my whole life had to figure out how to do things on my own and learn along the way. So this was the first time I actually am like moving to an apartment. It wasn't like just moving into my dorm like it was when I first moved to Miami. So first of all, you got to find a place.
There you go.
I was hunting for a place, and I was talking about this too, like 3 months ahead of time.
Let me play tennis with you right now.
Yeah.
Kind of like, first of all, you have to find a gym. Go.
Well, that's what I did when I first moved here. I was like, okay, now I need a gym. I got a job. I know where I'm living. Now I need a gym.
Right. So I'm going to equate your experience of discovery and successful moving with the experience of discovery and successful training. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. So like, I felt like I had to get everything established first. So of course, the move from Palm Beach to Miami a couple years ago, I'm like, okay, what do I need? What do I don't? I have limited space because it wasn't like I had to move furniture into this dorm. It was like, here's all the furniture, bring your clothes, but don't bring too much clothes because you don't have that much room. If you are moving into a dorm and you are like a college student, please buy a mattress topper because those little cots, they don't do it. You
need to figure out what kind of program you're going to do and what you need. Right. And then do not carry the things you don't,
Yeah.
If you picked yoga, for example, don't go dressed as, a basketball player.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. When I finally found this gym and I found you, I was wearing my workout attire from like high school and from soccer practice when I was a teenager. And I was like, okay, well, now that I'm actually really weightlifting now and I'm doing this every day, I have to invest in like leggings, actual shorts. Never found actual shorts, but I need actual shorts where, you know, I'm covered, or like I need to find more sports bras that are more supportive, more tank tops to kind of like throw over, which actually helps at the Miami Strength Club. You can get a Miami Strength Club tank top, t-shirt, mask. So merch link below. I'm just kidding.
So you find your program, you figure out what you need,
Yeah.
and also you get the gear that is going to allow your performance,
Right.
and also curtail some of your inhibitions that you may have. Because, you know, listen, if you're the guy who shows up with a cut-out T-shirt, you know, showing your nipples, you know what?
That doesn't fly here.
Maybe you have great-looking nipples, but
You might.
you might. Hey,
They might be pierced.
I don't know how. I don't feel.
We don't know.
I don't feel particular about that, but
That'd be so funny.
but I tell you, you know, maybe that's not the right gear.
No.
You know,
Definitely
if you're
not.
doing burpees on the floor and those pierced nipples
Oh.
catch onto something,
Oh God.
oh,
Oh.
maybe you don't have good-looking nipples anymore.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
You know, I met a boy in high school. He had a girlfriend for 3.5 years. And of course, when you're in a long-term relationship and you're young, I guess the flame burns out fast. So you got to try to keep it going. And his girlfriend ended up biting off his nipple.
Is that in a rage of passion?
In a rage of passion. In a rage of passion, she bit it off.
Wow.
I was like, you're no way. I'm like, this is, you're so full of shit. And he showed me, and it was like one of the scariest things I think I've ever
Where did this
seen.
happen? Is this like in private, where they were like, you know, they found each other at McDonald's cheating on each other or something?
Well, they dated. Well, I mean, they dated for so long. I'm not sure what their love story is, but, you know, I guess just one thing led to another. And, you know, they were just like, you know, with the Marvin Gaye song, Let's Get It On. I guess just in the heat of the moment, maybe she didn't try to bite that hard, but it just happened. And half of his nipple was gone. And I saw it, and it was scary. It was sad.
Is there such a thing as nipple reconstruction surgery?
You know what? There has to be. There has to be some kind of nipple reconstruction surgery.
Nipple
because
reattachment.
I think in Sunny Isles, there is a cosmetic podiatrist, and I saw that they do like surgery scar removal with like a laser.
Wow.
Yeah, so since I have this scar on my foot, I definitely want to do it. For sure. At one point. I want to wait till like I'm completely healed and like more back to normal in like a year or two. But yeah, like if they could just laser off that scar, I'd be phenomenal. I'd be fine. So they got to help the nipples out.
Yeah, yeah.
They got to help my friend.
Hey, it's only right. You know, there's medical technologies for so many things now.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It is so crazy. Have you heard about the threading with the eyes? So girls do this little cat eye look where it kind of puts them up, and they put a thread into your skin, and they just pull it up. It's insane, and it just sits in your skin. Isn't that a crazy concept?
I just got like some chills in my back.
But like imagine just a piece of thread, and then the doctor's just like, you know, just like messing with your eyeballs. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to me.
Hey, look.
Each to their own.
Yeah.
But that scares me.
If somebody just walks in the gym, and can I tell? Would I be able to tell, or that's something like you just don't really figure it out?
I don't know. I think you wouldn't be able to tell that there's a thread.
Could you tell I did it?
I feel like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's so many plastic surgeons out there that do all of these procedures on men and women.
Yeah.
And it looks natural and it looks really good. Now, if you're going to Dr. Miami.
Thank you to those surgeons, plastic surgeons, who, you know, you do your work.
You do your thing.
And it's like you can't, because you know what? Now you're playing God. Now you're really playing God. No. Like, look, I feel strongly
Yeah.
about this. I'm gonna speak my mind.
Right. Do your
Listen,
thing.
listen, plastic surgeon, who you're doing the thing where you kind of like look it and it just looks enhanced, but you don't really know that.
Yeah.
You can't tell that was, that you were there, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, like, there's a certain beauty to that idea.
Right.
I mean, that's my opinion. You don't have to share my opinion. I mean, some people actually want the opposite of that. It's like some people just want, like, I had it done and you're gonna know about it.
Right. I mean, it depends on the person. Some people want you to know and some people don't. And that's the great thing about some plastic surgeons, though, is that they'll make it look natural for you if you want, or if you want to look a certain way, they'll do that for you. They'll make that dream happen, of course, without sacrificing your health. I would hope.
I hope, but you know what? I don't want to sound like what I just said before. What I was judging, because, for example, if I put hair on my head, if I put like hair plugs,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know.
True.
I'm not gonna keep shaving my head. So.
Now, people go to Turkey to do that hair treatments and hair placements
Yeah.
all the time
Why Turkey?
because it's cheaper. Like,
Oh.
people get their teeth done there, nose jobs, those hair treatments like I was just mentioning. They do a lot of procedures in Turkey because it is cheaper than the United States.
Hey Siri, find fairs.
Book a ticket for... Wait, is your Siri actually on?
Of course it
That
got
is
on.
so funny.
And I have my cell phone on Do Not Disturb.
I love that.
That's spooky.
That it is kind of spooky.
You know what? Speaking of spooky stuff,
Yeah.
people brace. If you're standing up, sit down, hold on to your chair. I heard that there's something of called kind of like you remember. You heard of the movie? You're not so much into movies per se, but you heard of the movie Terminator
Yes.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I am the Terminator.
Yes,
My awful impression.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
John Connor and what was her name? Sarah Connor and all of those. Those are the characters. And in any case, I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but there's the threat that they're facing has to do with a computer program that is artificial intelligence. And this thing goes rogue. Have you watched that movie?
The Terminator? No.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just know the iconic little lines.
All right, so good. So they have this computer program
Right.
that starts acting up, and there's a whole history to it. Quite literally, there's a
Yeah.
whole history to it. And then this thing just knows everything and finds, and the Terminator is actually controlled by the computer program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The computer program is called Skynet.
Okay.
So if you can sort of imagine a computer program that takes over the world and has built-in technology to chase you, to find who you are, and kind of like what the Terminator does, it goes out and terminates. Similar technology supposedly has been put in place. And now there's like how people have like privacy concerns.
Yeah.
I forget about Dios mío, forget about your privacy. Like if you thought privacy was almost non-existent,
Yeah.
that's it. It's over. Like it's game over. According to some videos that I saw on YouTube, and if you see it on the internet, it has to be true.
Oh my God. You got to be careful with what you read, though, online. You really do, because there's so many mixed opinions,
I'm down.
false info.
This is a piece of info. If you're down to reading lately, if you're into reading, the number one true thing, the truth, you're gonna find it if you start reading curse words. Curses.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could just you get the dictionary, get the old dictionary.
Yup.
Don't get the online dictionary. Get the old dictionary and just flip it and find the curse words. They're still true.
Yeah.
They're still true. Everything else around it, it's like oh, this change, and yeah, world is made of change. You know what doesn't change?
What?
Motherfucking squats.
You know what? Speaking of squats, I actually wanted to bring this up to you
Tell me.
earlier this morning. So I'm glad that we're on that topic again because I totally forgot because you know me, my memory is awful. So I watched a TikTok because I get a lot of fitness TikToks that pop up on my For You page. And this woman was talking about squeezing at the top. You know, when you have to squeeze your glutes to get your glutes more. So what she was saying was if you squeeze and move your hips forward, in the end, that's going to cause you a lot of lower back pain.
Go on.
And I'm guilty of doing that. For sure. At the top of a squat, I always squeeze really hard and I move my hips forward and then I go back down again.
Yeah.
So she was saying for you to just squeeze at the top without that forward hip motion. But is that an accurate statement to say that that can cause like lower back pain and other issues like in the long run? Or to you, it's not really like a big thing?
Well, for me, it is a big thing.
Yeah.
Let me start by saying that my forward statements are not meant to treat, diagnose.
I am not Dr. Cruz.
Medical conditions or back pain or anything like that. But no, it is true. Listen, the let's just say the design of the body, of, the typical human body has a curvature on the lower back that when you squeeze your glutes, meaning you kind of thrust the hips forward, and let me not be so graphic, but like you squeeze the glutes and push forward like that, and it feels tight, and you feel like, oh wow, I did finish this rep, and I can feel it.
That's how I think.
Yeah, I can feel it. Oh my God, this is gonna be, I'm gonna be so sore, and I'm gonna celebrate it.
Guilty.
Well, here's what happens: the design of the body.
Yeah.
When that happens, the lower spine, the lumbar spine, goes into what's called flexion. Meanings it kind of bends. You see how at the bottom it's there's sort of like a tail form.
Yeah.
To it, the tailbone kind of thing.
Right.
Well, if you start trying to bend that in the opposite direction, kind of like this, it has that shape.
Right.
So when you if the back of my wrist is the buttocks, then as you bend in, your spine goes, or that section of the spine goes into like a banana shape kind of thing.
Oh.
And if you look and remember the anatomy, you have the spine is composed of vertebrae, and you have a piece of bone, a piece of cartilage called a disc, and then a piece of bone, and then a piece of cartilage. So depending on how you move your spine, though that cartilage gets squeezed by the bone. That's where people call bulging discs or herniations and stuff like that. Now,
Yikes.
in the proper context, and with the proper, when I say proper, I mean generally speaking, don't do anything stupid, like carrying way more weight than people can, or moving certain ways for in the long term, or whatnot. There are ways to keep exercise safety. That's one of them in the long term.
Yeah.
Some people can probably do a workout like that. I don't recommend it, but you can get away with a workout or a few years of working out that way, and maybe nothing happens. Because remember not remember, but let me also explain it this way: the body is a magical organism, and chances are you put the body in a sensible way to something. You put it through something, and the body's going to adapt.
Right.
So some people are actually adapted to squatting that way, and as long as they maybe don't do it too much, or carry too much weight,
Right.
or squeeze too hard, you get the idea. Let's just say doing something dumb. As long as they're not doing something dumb, hey, it's good. You still get good results. You preserve your health.
Right.
But there is a genuine present and logical risk to squeeze in the glutes. And I would say that genuine present and logical risk is maximized when people carry too much weight. Yeah. So I didn't know that TikTokers made sense, but hurrah!
No, from time to time, I will scroll through my For You page, and there will be some fitness advice. And sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm like, So,
Yeah.
but
Now,
I try not to believe everything that I watch.
well, now let me the other alternative and the channel that you watch
Yeah.
proposed it. I would say, if I heard correctly, you can squeeze without propping your hips forward.
Right, that's what she was saying, that you can squeeze without moving the hips forward.
Right. The way to achieve that, and I'm going to tell you a step-by-step process to that,
Okay.
is when the bar is on your back. Of course, we probably are talking about a either front squat or back squat. When you are at the top, at the very top, which is the beginning of the exercise, you start there, you go down, and then you go back up, and that's, kind of like beginning and end position. You get your knees locked all the way. Essentially, you want to flex your
Quads?
quads. You want to flex your quads. And I don't mean for those of us who are, listening, or since I'm not really demonstrating, the position, but just describing it. That means you're not bending your knee backwards. You're actually doing the opposite. You're kicking into your leg until your knee and your leg is fully straight. Fully straight. At that point, you should feel your quadricep muscles flexing, meaning they are contracted almost maximally. And when you do that, then you squeeze your glutes, you clench your butt cheeks until there's no more clenching to be done.
Yeah.
Right. Without pushing your hips forward. You're not pushing your hips forward, but you're just squeezing in. And that's about it. That's about it. It does the job.
Yeah.
For example, one can get in that position when doing hip thrusts. It's a very similar position to that,
Yeah.
because the hip doesn't really flex the spine.
Right.
Not in any meaningful way. There's a little bit of flexion there for some people, for
Right.
most people, I would say. But there's and when I say flexion, I mean you can't completely tuck your tail, your glutes, and your hip, like hip tucking.
Right.
If a person is doing a hip thrust, adequately
Right.
and efficiently. And maybe some people are doing it, but for me, that's not nor here nor there.
Sometimes there was a point where I was doing hip thrusts where I would either feel it in my quads or my hamstrings. And I remember after, doing different foot placements and positions, I finally found that that perfect position where I felt it in my glute. But there were times where I was doing hip thrusts and I would feel that in my quad only. So let's say you're not focused on growing your glutes, but you're more focused on growing your quads and your hamstrings. Would you recommend a different kind of hip thrust, like a different position to target those areas to help that individual? Or would you just not even recommend hip thrusts at all?
Natalie, that's a great question. I would say there are other exercises more.
Of course.
For example, if I'm primarily focused on developing my hamstrings, conventional hip thrust might not be at the top, at the very
Of
top
course.
of the list.
Yeah.
So now I guess the follow-up question is, would I still recommend it? I would say if the person wants to do it And yes, now I would modify it. For example, in a logical, straightforward thinking, instead of having your feet and legs and thighs separated, kind of like that, just going out in a V shape type of thing, I would put the feet closer together, maybe even toes sort of like parallel facing forward, with the heels closer to the hip, so that at the top when the barbell would be up, the knees are either in contact or very close to in contact.
Right.
Straightforward, that would target the hamstrings.
Yeah.
Plenty. And straightforward thinking.
Right.
That would target the hamstrings with more intensity, and also probably the inner thigh or the adductors and growing muscles. Because why? Because to keep the legs closer together as you move,
right,
the inner thigh muscles and adductors and growing muscles and all that are at play.
Yeah.
And at that point, a hip thrust, that modification of a hip thrust could be a viable exercise for hamstrings. I would still say RDLs, Romanian deadlifts, are a great go-to.
Yeah.
There are, believe it or not, this is one of the times when I recommend machine work if somebody wants to pretty much just focus on growing their hamstrings. Not only machine work, but it would be an alternative if you do laying hamstring curls, for example.
Yeah.
Laying down hamstring. I already actually have some of the people here doing some of that with dumbbells, because they're really concerned with developing, and I've programmed those for you in the past.
Those are great.
Right. They really target the hamstrings and stuff.
Do.
Let's see. So RDLs, laying hamstring curls, of course.
Deadlift, maybe.
Of course, the deadlift.
Yeah.
Of course, the deadlift. Yeah, that's a given. That's at the top of it.
Right.
Squats also.
Yep.
They do work the hamstrings. When properly done, they really do work the hamstrings, especially the kind of squats that we do here, which is the low bar squat with the barbell placed below the spine of the scapula. And so on and so on. We can get technical about it, until the cows come home. Come home.
Till the cows come home.
But that is a great question. Is there any other question you think plagues your mind when you're training? It was like, how can I do this? How can I do that?
Honestly, no. But what I do want to ask you is, who do you think has made the most progress here? Because how long have you had this gym open?
We are going into 2 years and 8 months now.
Okay, so out of all of the clients that you can remember within that time period, because I don't know if I would be able to remember them all, who do you think has made the most progress? Because, Johnny's been here for a while.
Johnny's done fantastic. Johnny, you've done great.
Fabulous.
Work,
bitch. Yes.
Johnny's done so good.
Yeah.
Johnny's done so good. And your triceps are remarkable. Remarkable. That the easy bar, everybody in the gym, and I shared this with you, Johnny. The easy bar, we call it the Johnny bar.
The Johnny bar.
The Johnny bar.
I love that.
The easy bar, based on your skull crushers, working on your triceps and biceps and stuff like that, Johnny. It's a lot of people here in the gym, just they want to know you. Hey, the Johnny bar. Hey, where's that bar? That guy's.
That is so funny. I didn't know that there was a Johnny bar.
Yeah,
until
it's a Johnny
now.
bar.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I love that. So you would say he made the most progress.
Which actually, Johnny, and you and I, if you don't mind, we can talk business later on. But I'm going to claim the Johnny bar as my brand, and I'm going to seek developers and designers to design the Johnny bar.
That would be
our own barbell.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be so great.
It's mine. It's mine.
I'm claiming it now.
So I'm so glad that you highlight Johnny's progress.
Yeah, for sure.
The way I can give you many examples. Now I tell you what, and this is not a political cop-out answer, because what we do here is so individual
Right.
as far as where we do program, but we do program with you specific in mind, and I program Johnny for Johnny specifically in mind, and I program all the other members with their own particular targets and goals and objectives in mind. If I compare them now to when they started, you can really make the argument that everybody has just done remarkably well.
Right.
Remarkably well.
Right.
In terms of transformations, some of the most noticeable have been, you are one of those. You are one of those. You probably do not appreciate yourself the way, people see you. But you've done a remarkable, noticeable, spectacular, and so on and so on.
Thank you.
Those are not, by the way, I second those words. I'm repeating these words, but they're not only mine. They're not only my words.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Typically, people ask for where's that tall girl? Yeah, the tall girl.
The tall girl.
Yeah, and tall is euphemism for other noticeable things as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Learn something new every day.
We are civilized, and we're civilized. We're not just going to start describing, people by the most noticeable attributes. So we go right down.
Well, I appreciate being described as tall.
Yeah,
Anything else?
yeah. She has a very positive energy. She's laughing and courteous and comes in and just the room lights up and then she kind of
that's so
just
sweet.
focuses and start exercising very hard and she's always writing down her workouts on the log. And
I didn't do that today though. Sorry.
no, I mean, but these are things that people notice.
Yeah.
Speaking on progress and kind of like what the culture of the club
Right.
is like. We all make tons of progress.
We do.
So you are an example. I would
Nina's
say
a good example.
Nina is a good example. You tell me, and you tell me, I tell you. You tell me one, I tell you one.
Adriana for sure.
Adriana is a great example.
She
Inspirational.
truly, she's my role model here. You and her are like my two role models here. And I feel like too, I can relate to her personally because she's been through a lot. And I've been through a lot, and she still comes in here with a positive attitude, ready to work. She has her coffee, she laughs with you, and then she's like, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta do my set. Like, she's very focused and very driven, and I definitely admire her for that. She's like my gym mom.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Yeah.
So her definitely, like I said before, Nina for sure. From the moment that I met her to now, she's definitely made a lot of progress, and she's also giving me feedback. Which is so cool for me to see her transition from working out with Jen on Saturdays and like trying to get into the whole fitness world and journey to her being like, hey, you got to keep your arms parallel when you do the dumbbell press and like this and this and that. So I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. V.
Oh
my God. An icon.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, girl. You are, oh my gosh, she is definitely an inspiration for me too. 100%.
V has transformed her thoughts.
Yeah.
Her energy, and I'm contextually talking about the gym in a very inspirational way. Her body, she looks
so good.
Looks amazing.
Phenomenal.
Gained a ton of muscle.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of unwanted fat, body fat percentage and whatnot. Rocketed down. Went from squatting wherever she was at the beginning to squatting 160 pound squat right now. And nonchalant.
Yeah, and what I've noticed too is
Incredible.
that she has great energy. She's very kind. She's very polite. She has a good sense of humor too. But what I've noticed is that over time, she has her AirPods. I'm sorry, AirPods.
Yeah.
Like the movie Air Bud. No, but she has her AirPods in. She does her workout. She writes it down. She's just ready to work. And then she's like, all right, guys, bye. Like, she is here to put in that work. She's like, all right, see you next Wednesday.
Yep.
And I've noticed that she's way more focused now, too.
Yeah.
100%. So shout out to you, lovely lady. You are the bomb.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me give a shout out in a other specific way to. We're talking about Viola Jackson from Viola Jackson International.
Ooh, international.
Viola Jackson is my coach, my business. We co-coach each other.
That's so cute. I love that.
Every Thursday or every other Thursday.
Yeah.
We sit down in these chairs, particularly. And she sits down there and, hey, what do you want to talk about today? And, she has a method, and she has helped me tremendously.
She's a very intelligent woman, for sure.
This particular podcast is happening, at least in part, because of her coaching.
Wow.
Yes.
I did not know that.
We sat here, and I started coaching with her because this was a dream, and it escaped me. I was taking too long. And I would do this and I would do that. And you remember how I was changing the whole, and I would put a table here and I would do a pet table there, and I would set up cameras and I would change these, and every 3 days I would be changing because I knew what I wanted, but I didn't have the clarity immediately to actually execute.
Right.
And it took us about 2 months. She came in here and said, what are your goals? And I said, I want to have a podcast. And she asked me questions, approximating to pick up a timeline,
right?
Pick up what you want to do in that timeline, and then let's set up accountability checkpoints. And we met every week on Thursdays, and we'd pick stuff to do,
right?
And it would be like, okay, so what are you going to accomplish this week? Oh, I'm going to record one podcast, one episode, 2 episodes, and I want to get this, get that. The directive of reaching out for interns, and this is something that you have helped me with in at least 2 occasions, came out of coaching with Viola, which is look, you think you can do it all, but you can't.
Right.
You need to start team building. You need to look for whoever is in the right position, and of course college students who are bright, are
passionate about fitness,
understand modern technologies in a way that it maybe escapes me, because I look at, I made a jab, for example, at TikTok and whatnot. Yeah, I am making it a thing because I don't necessarily understand all the TikTok technology. So I make fun of it in a certain way, just to feel better about myself. But ton of young people and ton of people of all ages, understand TikTok way better than I do. So I was looking at people who could inform me and educate me on, hey, this is what, if you're trying to do this is what's important for you. So shout out to you, V, for coaching, for your outstanding intellect and patience and fortitude, of emotional fortitude, your character and your personality. We love you.
We do. We love you, V.
Yeah. And I'm going to make this a clip.
Yeah, make it a clip for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So who else has done way Well, let me see. Those are really really good examples. We started with Johnny, then went down the list. I will not fail to mention the Roman family. Yeah.
For sure.
Ricardo, Isabel,
Dedicated.
Carmen. Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
yes.
are like the best trio ever.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Actually, they're in line probably to be here for the next class, starting sometime shortly around 4:30.
What time is it now?
What time is it now? I should know.
What time is it?
But you know, we've been here for a while,
Yeah,
and I have to start prepping for coaching. I definitely want to do this again.
for sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Listen.
Part 2.
I want to. If you like, would you be open to sharing ways in which people can contact you? I don't know, some social media handle or LinkedIn or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I'm definitely on LinkedIn, Natalie Rose Johnson. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Natalie Johnson with 2 H's. So NATALIEJOHHNSON, since I have a very basic name. Feel free to message me, follow, like my pictures, do whatever you'd like. For sure, but this was fun. Thank you for having me, Rafa. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Natalie. We definitely have to. I'm stoked. I want to do this again.
For sure. This
And-
went by so quick.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
so fun, though.
Well then, until the next time. Thank you.
Until next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rafa.
If you enjoy this podcast and would like to support the channel by continuing to listen to our podcast releases and short clips, consider subscribing. It will help a lot to continue to bring interesting guests that promote our vision of helping people become stronger so that they can lead better lives for themselves and the people around them.